In the foothills of the Trikuta Mountains, north of the town of Katra, in what is now the Jammu region, there was born a girl named Vaishnavi. She was, the legend says, a daughter of a Brahman couple, but she was unusual from her first breath. She did not cry as an infant. She refused to eat meat. By the time she was 9, she had walked away from her parents' house and gone into the forests of the Trikuta hills, alone, to meditate. She had been told, in a dream, by Rama himself, the legend says, that she was an incarnation of the great goddess Mahalakshmi, and that her purpose on earth was to wait quietly in the hills until the right person came to find her. She walked into a cave in the mountain. She sat down. She began her tapasya, her ascetic discipline. She was 9 years old. Years passed. Vaishnavi grew up alone in the mountain. Word of her presence spread through the surrounding villages. Pilgrims began to come. They left offerings of fruit and milk at the mouth of her cave. Many came simply for darshan. One of these pilgrims was a fierce tantric ascetic named Bhaironath. He was the disciple of the great yogi Gorkhanath. He was famous in the region for his powers. He came to the cave. He saw Vaishnavi in meditation. He was struck, the chronicles say not unkindly, by her beauty. He wanted to marry her. He approached her with the proposal. Vaishnavi refused him calmly. She said, I have taken a vow of celibacy. I am not the kind of being you can marry. Bhaironath would not accept it. He decided he would persuade her, by force if necessary. One night, Bhaironath came to the cave with his disciples. He intended to abduct Vaishnavi. She heard him coming. She left the cave. She fled upward, into the higher passes of the Trikuta hills. Bhaironath followed. The chase, the legend says, went on for 9 months. Vaishnavi paused at several places along the way to gather strength. Pilgrims today visit each of these resting places. There is the Banganga, where Vaishnavi, exhausted and thirsty, fired an arrow into the rock and a fresh spring sprang out for her to drink. There is the Charan Paduka, where her footprints are imprinted in stone. There is the Atkuvri, the cave where she hid for 9 months without coming out. The number 9, the legend says, is no coincidence. She was, in this cave, like a baby in a womb, gathering the power she would need. Eventually, Vaishnavi reached the very top of the Trikuta hills. She entered a deep narrow cave in the rock face, a cave so narrow that pilgrims today must crouch and squeeze through it sideways. She passed through the narrow opening into a large inner chamber. There, the legend says, she manifested in her true form. She became one with 3 small stone pillars at the back of the cave, 3 pindis, 3 rounded rocks, of 3 different colors. The 3 pindis are her 3 forms, Mahasaraswati on the right, white, Mahalakshmi in the center, yellow gold, Mahakali on the left, black. The 3 goddesses united in one cave at the top of the Trikuta mountain. Vaishno Devi, the legend says, is the most powerful single point of the divine feminine on earth. Bhaironath, still in pursuit, finally caught up with her at the cave. He demanded that she come out and accept him. Vaishnavi, now in her divine form, came out for one moment. She raised her sword, the legend says it was the sword of Mahakali, and she beheaded Bhaironath in a single stroke. His head, propelled by the force of her stroke, flew through the air. It flew over the top of the Trikuta hill and landed in a small clearing several kilometers away. Bhaironath, in his last moment of consciousness, as his head was flying through the air, finally realized who Vaishnavi was. He recognized her divinity. He realized that his desire had been wrong, that her power was far greater than his, and that she had been merciful to him by simply ending his life rather than condemning him to many more incarnations of the same grasping behavior. His head, falling to the earth, called out one last sentence. He said, "Forgive me, mother." The goddess heard him. Vaishno Devi was pleased that he had recognized her in his last instant. She gave him a strange and generous boon. She said, "Bhairo, you will not die in vain. You will not be cursed. You will be made a part of my own pilgrimage. From this day, no devotee of mine will be considered to have completed her pilgrimage to my cave unless they also walk to your shrine, after visiting me, and bow at the place where your head fell. Your blessing will be a necessary part of the blessing I give to all who come. You will be honored alongside me." Bhairo Nath, dying, bowed in spirit. His head was buried at that clearing. A small shrine was built over it. The shrine of Bhairo Baba is today one of the official last stops of the Vaishno Devi pilgrimage. Every pilgrim who climbs the Trikuta hills must, after visiting the main cave, walk an additional 2.5 kilometers up to the Bhairo shrine. Only then is the yatra considered complete. Today, the Vaishno Devi shrine is one of the most visited Hindu pilgrimage sites in India. Every year, around 10 million people walk the 13-kilometer climb from the town of Katra at the base of the hill, up the steep zigzag path, past the Banganga, past the Charan Paduka, past the Atkuvri, all the way to the main cave at the top, at an altitude of about 5,000 feet. Many do the entire walk barefoot. Many do it in a single night. The path is open 24 hours. Pilgrims chant the same simple cry as they walk, "Jai Mata Di." Victory to the Mother. The cry echoes from the cliffs. It is so constant in the Trikuta hills that the goats who graze on the slopes, the local guides will tell you, have learned to recognize it as the sound of human company. The cry passed from foot to foot, year by year, has carried millions of feet up that mountain. The original narrow cave is still there. It is so narrow that pilgrims today must squeeze through it sideways, sometimes on their hands and knees, to reach the inner chamber. Inside the inner chamber, in the very dimness, 3 small rounded pindars still wait at the back wall, white, gold, black, the 3 goddesses united in one cave at the top of the Trikuta mountain. The same pindars the girl Vaishnavi became, many centuries ago, when she finally stopped running and stood in her own form. The pilgrims approach. They touch the pindars. They make their wish. They walk back out, slightly bent, into the world they came from. The hills below them are full of pine trees. The valley below the pine trees is full of pilgrim shelters. The pilgrim shelters are full of more devotees waiting to climb. The line never ends. The mother, the priests say, has been receiving them, one by one, for centuries, without ever once turning anyone away. Tomorrow's story comes from another corner of India. Subscribe to walk with us through the folklore of every region, in your language.